Today I have another car for you, which is a Toyota 4runner 2010. So if you don't know much about cars and you're interested in one of these, I'll show you here some steps and tips on how you can inspect it and how you can know for sure that at least it looks like a good deal to bring it to your mechanics so he can check it further. So first thing on my list is the exterior design. So this one is fairly easy. Make sure there's enough bright light on the paint, shine on the car, and take a walk around. See if all the colors looks right, and if the gaps between the panels, the hood, and the doors are all aligned like they should. In this case, I can see like a misalignment between the bumper and the panel. It's minimal, so let's just keep it at that. Everything else looks good. Next, take a look at the tires. Check and see if there is enough tread. In this case, it's winter tires that are on. They look fairly new and in good condition. Check the rims, make sure there's not damage on them all around. Check all the 4 tires. In this case they look right. We have the mags in the back, you can check them out as well. So the rim, the mag looks alright, as well as the tires. They look fairly in very good condition. You can also turn the wheel around and try and have a look inside. Now we can see that there's a fair amount of surface rust on this part, but everything else seems good. I wouldn't worry about it. Then check the other side as well. Turn the wheel just to have an idea about the parts that are in there, if there's any new part, if everything looks good. In this case, I'm fairly happy with the condition behind the wheels. Check the windshield, make sure it's not cracked. This case looks good. I'm going to go ahead and say that the exterior has been checked. Sorry for my pen. Next is the engine condition. For this test, turn on the car. Well, in this case, I'm going to need a booster for the 3rd time today, so I'm pretty sure that the battery is gonna need to be changed. So here we go again. Start the car and listen. There are no exhaust leak, so sounds good in the back. The smoke is in a normal color. At the front, engine sounds very smooth. There are no smoke all around, and nothing seems to be dropping on the floor, so that's good. While you have the hood open, look around for anything misaligned. Take a careful look at the bolts and the plastic clips. If, for example, here there is missing one, However, everything looks clean, so I wouldn't worry about that. Everything looks fine. Now, I wasn't too sure about it, but I kind of feel like the bumper is not the same color as the fender and is not perfectly aligned, so I'm pretty sure that this bumper is not original. And but I don't feel like it's a big problem right now. Take a look under. Try and see if everything is dry and there is no traces of previously leaked oil. In this case, looks good. You can also look in the rear, around the differential. Looks very clean. That's good. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the engine condition has been checked. And sorry again for my pen, that's not working. Next is the interior condition. Now, for this one, start with the doors. Look at the panels. I can see here that there is some something happened, some issue with the color on this panel. Look at the seats. They seem a bit torn, like somebody's, like here it feels like it's not stiff anymore. It happens when you sit a lot on the chair. I mean, a lot of going in and going out. You push on this part. Everything else looks right. Look at the back as well. Looks very clean. Alright, so open the trunk. Now there is the tires in the way, but I can fairly see that everything looks clean. Alright. Next, try and open all the windows. Make sure they all do work. Now in this case there's only one that's not working. Rear pass on this door. So let's try it manually over here. I feel it's only frozen, but it's because of the cold, so everything all right there. Look at the try to also open the sunroof. Now there is snow on it, so I'm not gonna attempt that right now. On this car, the rear window as well opens, so open it. I can hear it trying to open, so I'm gonna suppose that it's only frozen, but this window is supposed to open, so make sure it does. It's a nice feature, and it's not very cool if it doesn't work. Next, the windshield wipers. Make sure they work. I can't hear the one in the rear, so I believe it is not working. The one on the trunk. Check the radio. This radio is not working, so there's that. Next, also check the heating. Heating sounds good. Now in winter it's very hard to test the AC if the AC works. I believe that your mechanic should be able to tell you if he hooks his machine, but only like trying outside, you can't figure it out on your own. This is the sad part in winter. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the interior has been checked. Next is the test drive. Now for a test drive, take your time. Make sure you at least drive the car until it heats up at normal temperature. Take it in city as well as highway. You want to check for the stability, you want to check if there is any wobbles, if there is any rattles, any sound. You want to check also for the brake, test the brake. If the seller wants to stick with you on the ride, make sure he remains quiet as much as possible so you can focus on every little detail. In this case the radio doesn't work, but turn off the music, turn off the radio, make sure there is nothing that can hide any sound. And don't be shy to really test the car, take your time. It's the most important part. In this case the car drives good. It also comes with an four-wheel drive system, so test it as well. Now I put it in all-wheel drive. I can see the sign over here, it's lighting up. Oh, because of the sun it's hard to tell. Yeah, over there, the green one. So I'm gonna go ahead. Now I already feel on the snow that the car is grabbing better. I'm convinced the four-wheel drive works perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the test drive is done. Over here. Next is the mileage. So now you've checked the car all around. You turned it on, you checked the engine, you also drove the car, so you have a fairly good idea about what the mileage should be. So take a look at it, if you can find it. In this case, so in this case 240,000 kilometers. I'm pretty convinced this is the actual mileage based on everything I'm seeing, and I wouldn't be scared about that. That's a good thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and say mileage checked. Now the VIN ID check. You really don't want to end up buying a stolen car. As I usually say, the police will find the car and take it back, but they will not help you get your money back. So locate the VIN plate on the passenger side. Try and remove it with your hands. Oops, wait a minute. Okay, so you try and remove it. If it's not supposed to be able, you're not supposed to be able to remove it by hand. If you are able to remove it fairly easily, which it could probably indicate that the car has been cloned. So check the VIN number, compare it with the one on the windshield, which is hidden by the snow. Make sure also this one doesn't look like it has been tampered with. In this case everything looks right. I'm not scared about it being stolen. So VIN check. Next is cluster light. You have here your cluster. Turn the car off and then turn it back on, but put the key in accessory only. Don't turn the engine on. And check for all the lights. You can see here that they are all available. The check engine is there, the all light. Turn off and back on. You can see ABS on this side as well. We have traction control and everything is there. Now when I turn on the car, everything turns back off. The 4x4 is because it's still in 4x4. I'm gonna put it back in 2x4 and see that the green light comes off. So really here everything looks right. Usually what some bad people will do is, for example, the check engine is on, they will actually manually remove the cluster, break the LED light behind the check engine sign, so the check engine is not lighting anymore. This is not a good thing to do, obviously, but in this case at least everything looks like it hasn't been tampered with. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the cluster light has been checked. So I've been around this car. I'm pretty happy with the condition. So far we only found 2 problems with this car. There's a battery that's need to be changed, as well as the radio which is not working. The driver's seat, it seems like it's a bit torn, but it's in acceptable condition. So I would really try and bargain on the radio as well as the battery. Otherwise, it looks like a pretty good car. Based on the price, if we can agree on, I would go on the next step, which is take it to a garage that I trust, so they can make a more in-depth look under the car, and on, so they can tell you if it looks like it's a safe car. Make sure you ask them to also, if you're in winter, to check the AC system to see if the air conditioning is working, because this could be many dollars in repairing. So it's important to make sure it works. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with this car. Don't forget that you can also always go on Google and look out for the common problems on the car you're looking at. For example, here we have automatic transmission may not shift correctly. In this case, during the test drive, you will be able to tell. Car won't start due to worn, corroded. Anyway, the car starts very well except for the battery. Well, this is important probably. Maybe the problem is not from the battery but from the wires. But whenever I put the booster, it starts perfectly. So I do believe it's the battery. It's nothing to do with corroded wires. ABS, the light is off and it hasn't been tampered with. So I'm pretty sure that we don't have this problem on this car. And you can also look at all the other problems. Make sure that some of them at least you can test during your walk around and figure out if the car in question has them. Okay. So good luck with your tests, and thank you for watching.